I didn't expect anyone to arrive so late, especially not her. The knock came just after 11 o'clock, a time when silence hums and your thoughts reverberate louder than any television. Barefoot and shirtless, I padded to the door, my trousers hanging low. I didn't bother to check the peephole. Maybe I should have. Maybe then I would have been prepared. But how could I have been? Nora was hugging my old black denim jacket against her chest. Just the jacket. Her legs were bare, her hair moist, as if she'd just stepped out of the shower. Her skin was flushed warmly, as if from drinking, or running, or something riskier. She didn't speak, just stared at me like I'd done something to her. I blinked, grabbing the doorframe. "Did you forget the rest of your clothes?" She smirked. "I came to return it. You left it after the burning." "That fire was 2 weeks ago," I said. I remembered her putting on my jacket after the wind kicked up, wrapping herself in it as if it meant something. I recalled watching her across the flames, her boyfriend Jason too inebriated to notice her gradually leaning into me. I think about that night more than I should. "Right," I replied, still not moving. "Thanks." She tilted her head. "Aren't you going to invite me in?" That was the problem with Nora. She was never obvious. She made you wonder if you were the one crossing the line, or if she had already crossed it for you. I stepped back. She pushed past me, and I caught a whiff of vanilla and skin-warmed cotton. I hated how fast my heart started thumping. I hated how my gaze dropped to the hem of her jacket as she walked in and stayed there. She made herself at home on the edge of my couch, crossing her legs slowly, methodically. I remained standing, suddenly and painfully aware of how thin my sweatpants were. "Is Jason asleep?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She shrugged. "He's not home. Poker night or strip club, depends on his mood." My stomach tightened. I shouldn't be having this conversation. Not with her. Not at midnight. Not while she looked like sin and smelled like summer. "He's still my friend," I said. She met my gaze. "Is that what this is about?" I didn't answer. I went to the kitchen to put space between us, pouring water I didn't need. She followed barefoot, silent, stopping in the doorway. "I saw how you looked at me that night," she said. I laughed, a dry, defensive sound. I'd been drinking. So had I. Silence stretched. She didn't move. I didn't either. Then she reached for the zipper, pulling it halfway down. My brain short-circuited. I stared, unable to stop myself. The jacket opened just enough to reveal the shape of her breast, the delicate hollow of her collarbone, the blush that ran down her chest. She wasn't wearing anything underneath. "Why are you doing this?" I asked, my voice low. "Because you're the only one who's made me feel anything in months." I looked away. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to believe it. "I'm not him, Nora." "I know," she said. "That's why I'm here." I didn't know whether to kiss her or kick her out. Every cell in my body screamed for one. Every ounce of conscience pleaded for the other. She moved closer. I could feel her heat even though we weren't touching. Her fingertips brushed against my forearm, gentle and barely there. I flinched. "This is wrong," I mumbled. She didn't argue. She just looked at me with those unfathomable eyes and whispered, "So stop me." But I didn't. I didn't move. She didn't either. I wish I could say I stopped her. That I mustered the strength to walk away, send her home, and close the door on everything we both knew shouldn't happen. But I didn't. And she didn't leave. She stayed. She moved past me, slow and sure, as if I already belonged to her, as if this was inevitable. And maybe it was. She let the jacket slide off her shoulders, and for a second, I forgot how to breathe. The soft thump of denim on the floor sounded louder than it should have in my quiet apartment. I didn't know where to look. Everything felt like a sin. She didn't try to cover herself. She just stood there, serene and still, lovely in a way that made you ache. "I can go," she whispered, her voice soft. "I don't want to." Her words broke through a barrier in me I'd been pretending was solid for weeks. I took a step toward her, my fists clenched at my sides as if they could stop me from doing what every part of me wanted to do. "This will ruin everything," I murmured. She tilted her head. "Everything is already ruined." I didn't kiss her. She kissed me, and I let her. It was the kind of kiss that made my knees weak and tasted like regret before it was even over. Her hands were on my neck, her chest moving against mine as if she was memorizing how I felt. I touched her like she was about to vanish, knowing I shouldn't but unable to stop myself. Her skin was warm, alive, and real. And I was lost. We didn't speak again until hours later. She lay beside me, tangled in blankets, staring at the ceiling as if she didn't know how to look at me anymore, as if it had suddenly dawned on her after what we'd done. "What are we doing?" I finally said, my voice barely a whisper. She didn't answer, and the silence stung more than I expected. The next day was worse. She left before sunrise, the jacket folded neatly on the bar. No note. No text. Just emptiness. Jason called me that afternoon, casual as hell. "Nora says she left your jacket at your place. Want me to drop it off?" I looked at the folded denim still sitting on my kitchen counter. My stomach twisted. "No," I said. "I've got it." He chuckled. "Dude, she's been losing it lately. Ever seen someone fall out of love so fast?" My throat closed. "I've gotta go," I mumbled, hanging up before he could ask anything else. The guilt came in waves. Sometimes I could push it down and pretend it was just a mistake, a moment we both made because we were broken in the same ways. But then I'd see her at the grocery store. At a mutual friend's cookout. On Sundays when we'd all gather on the sidewalk by the cafe. And she wouldn't look at me. Not even once. That was worse than anything. We had shared something intimate, something raw. And now she walked by like I was a stranger, like nothing had happened, or worse, like she regretted every second of it. I started spinning, questioning everything. Was I just a rebellion? A middle finger to Jason? A story she told herself to feel something for one night? I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking of how she looked that night. Vulnerable, maybe, but deliberate. She knew what she was doing, right? Or maybe I just wanted to believe that. The final straw came 2 weeks later. Jason invited me over, said Nora would be out of town visiting her sister. Poker night again, just the guys. He sounded normal. Too normal. So I went. She was there the moment I walked in. Sitting on the couch, her hair tied back, a hoodie zipped to her neck as if nothing had ever happened. She barely glanced my way. Jason handed me a beer, grinning like an idiot, and I had to fight the urge to walk right back out. I stayed. Stupid. We played cards. I joked around, but I couldn't stop looking at her. And she never looked at me. Not until Jason went into the kitchen. Then her eyes met mine. Brief, sharp, and full of something I couldn't name. She stood, muttered something about needing air, and slipped out onto the balcony. I waited 15 seconds before following. My heart was already pounding. When I stepped out, she didn't turn. "Did you plan this?" I asked. She exhaled cigarette smoke. I hadn't known she smoked. "No." I told him I wasn't coming, but then I changed my mind. "Why?" She shrugged. "Maybe I just wanted to see if you could look me in the eye." Her words landed like a slap. "I can," I said softly. "Can you?" Then she asked, "Do you think this was easy for me? Do you think I don't wake up wanting to undo it?" That stung harder than I'd thought. I moved closer. "So why did you come to my door that night?" She looked up at me. For the first time since that night, I saw her. Really saw her. She was scared. Not of me, but of herself. Of how she felt. Because, she whispered, for a moment, I wanted to be someone else. Someone braver. Someone more selfish. And with that, I understood. We were two people pretending. Pretending we were strong. Pretending we could handle the aftermath. Pretending it wouldn't wreck everything. But it already had. I didn't see her again for 3 weeks. Not at Jason's, not around town, not even online. It was like she'd vanished. And maybe that was for the best. Every time I thought of her, I felt like I was on fire. I hated what we did. I hated how much I wanted more of it. But the worst part was, I had no idea what it meant to her. Then one night, she called. No text. No warning. At 2:14 a.m., her name was all that appeared on my screen. I answered without thinking. Nora? She was crying, not loud, not dramatic. A small, choked sound, like she was trying to hold it in but couldn't. I sat up, heart thumping. Where are you? Outside, she said. I didn't know where else to go. I pulled on a hoodie and rushed to the door. She was on my steps, curled up like a child, wearing that same damn jacket, the one she'd left, the one she kept returning for. I dropped to my knees in front of her. What happened? She looked at me like she'd been drowning for weeks. I told him. The words didn't register at first. Then they hit. You told Jason? She nodded, her eyes red and puffy. Not everything. Not your name. Just that there was someone. I leaned back, stunned. Why would you do that? Because I couldn't keep pretending, she said. Because every time he touched me, I remembered how it felt when you did. The silence between us was thick and sharp. I didn't know what to say. I should have been angry, or scared, or something, but all I felt was relief. He asked if I still loved him, she whispered, and I didn't know what to say. And now she was looking right at me. I don't think I ever did. I sat down beside her. We didn't touch. I'm not proud of what we did, I told her. I still think about that night and feel like I crossed a line I can't uncross. You did, she said gently. We both did. I nodded. But I won't lie and say I regret it. She turned to face me. You wouldn't take it back? I'd take back the lies. The timing. The secrecy. But what happened between us? No. She leaned her head against my shoulder. I don't know what happens next, she said. I'm not good at this. Neither am I. We sat like that until the sky turned gray. And for the first time, it felt like we weren't hiding anymore. Of course, real life didn't wait. Jason found out a week later. Don't ask me how. Maybe he saw something in her eyes. Or maybe someone talked. Small towns are like that. He showed up at my apartment. No warning, just rage. I opened the door and he punched me right in the jaw. I took it. I didn't fight back. He stood over me, hands shaking, chest heaving. You were my friend, he hissed. My best friend. I know. You slept with her. I didn't deny it. What was the point? He laughed, a hollow, cracked sound that turned my stomach. She always had that look in her eye when you were around, he murmured. I just didn't want to believe it. He turned and walked away. Just like that, 15 years of friendship were over. Nora didn't ask him to stay. She didn't chase him. She moved out a week later to her sister's spare bedroom. She got a part-time job, started therapy, tried to build something from the rubble. Maybe she was building herself. We didn't see each other for a while. It was the right thing to do. We needed time and space to feel the consequences. Despite the distance, I couldn't stop thinking about her, and slowly, she came back. Not in the middle of the night, half-dressed or with tears in her eyes. She came in the daylight, clear-eyed and calm. She knocked on my door like a normal person. And when I opened it, she smiled, tired but real. Hi, she said. Hey. We just looked at each other. She wasn't wearing the jacket. I didn't need her to. I'm not here for anything dramatic, she stated. I just wanted you to know that I'm not sorry. Not anymore. I stepped aside. You want to come in? She considered for a moment, then nodded. And this time, we didn't kiss out of desperation. It wasn't wrong. It was just two broken people trying to be whole.